All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing a short and sweet look at 2021 and the year ahead. So we'll be actually looking at it through the seasons. So you'll only see one card for each season, and this is a collective reading as well. So again, just something pretty quick and sweet, short and sweet, just to kind of get an idea of how our year will go and what we have to look forward to collectively, right? So this will be for everyone who watches this reading. And when we're done with this reading, this main reading, then I'll be offering the chance for a pick a card situation just for some additional messages, closing messages from our higher self. So, yeah, Happy New Year, guys. This will be the first reading in the new year for me that I'll be doing. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it gives you some kind of hope for the upcoming year. As we know, last year was very challenging, so hopefully this year will kind of make up for it in some way. So we will take a look and see what the cards have to say. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Pamela Belen, and I'm a professional tarot card reader as well as a Reiki healer and also or Reiki practitioner, I should say, and also a life coach, so a holistic life coach. If you have any interest in those things, go ahead and check out my website. You'll see all sorts of information in there, including tarot readings. So as you know, so I should probably mention this just for, I know this is a little uncommon to do collective readings like this or unified readings like this, but I feel like it's just a good sneak peek into what we have to look forward to, or what we should prepare for in some cases. So, the only way to get a reading that will be absolutely, will resonate completely if possible. I don't know if that's even possible, but if it is, the only way to do that is with a private reading. So I just want to put that out there. And considering that this is a group reading, please understand that this will, the stuff will resonate for, hopefully everybody will get something out of it, but most likely some stuff will resonate for you and some might not. So the reason being that it's for a whole group of people, right? So that's the reason I'm including the pick a card section, which is only one card, but it'll just be like sort of a semi-customized goodbye or ending to this reading. So, all right, let's get started. So let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to start with basically this card here is going to be just a look at how we're feeling right now about 2021. Normally when we start off a year, we're excited. We have a lot of goals in mind. We are usually celebrating it. A lot of us, anyways, will celebrate it until midnight, and the high that we get off of a brand new start or a blank slate, it usually lasts at least a week before we kind of go back to life as normal. So in this group, though, I'm seeing, or with this reading anyways, I'm seeing here the King of Swords. And for me, this card, the way I would interpret it is definitely that as a group, we're all feeling a little, what's the word? Not wary necessarily, but we've kind of been through this already. So it's kind of like a been there, done that kind of attitude. This king has reached the top of the mountain, and he's, being accompanied by his trusty sword. And then there's also an owl here, a bat, and a raven or a crow. And those are all signs of, wisdom, of perseverance, and even of, the ravens can be kind of tricksters, but they're messengers more than anything else. So this all, and he's at the top of a mountain. He's reached the top of the mountain and he's feeling satisfied. So this is a king of achievement and strength and not very emotional at all. He's very, very good at just kind of being strategic in some ways or preparing himself in some ways. So what I see here is a general attitude, I think, from most people of just kind of feeling like, last year was tough. It toughened us up where we needed to be toughened up, and it wised us up in places where we needed a little more knowledge, right? Or a little more skill or a little more tenacity, whatever it might be. Last year really taught us a lot of lessons. So we're coming into 2021 feeling a little more like I'll believe it when I see it, right? So no getting excited about 2021 just yet. We want it to, we hope it not to be a continuation of 2020, but we're not so sure. So I see a sense here of maybe like just kind of wishing for the best or hoping for the best, but not really being too sold on the fact that we're going to get anything more than what we got last year. So just a lot more of the same. So skepticism, maybe some healthy, it's probably some healthy skepticism, as opposed to negative thinking. It's more of a sense, I think, of just being kind of like, all right, I'm not going to really jump for joy or focus on just my goals and celebrating life and all that. This is really like, let's see how the year develops. We're being cautious, we're moving slowly, and we're also, like I said, healthy skepticism. So that's what I feel the general energy in this reading is, anyways, reflecting for this group. So, as I said, we're going to take a look at the year in seasons. So we're going to start off with spring, and then obviously move through all the seasons in a year, and just take a look at what our year will be like, somewhat, right? Obviously, again, very, very general because it is a group reading. But let's start here with spring, right? And spring shows us a beautiful card. So this card right here is the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands is a card of recognition, of success, of just having everything kind of go perfectly for you. So that's a pretty good beginning to our year, once this winter's over, because I'm going to be looking at next winter, not this winter we're in right now, since we're pretty much, more than halfway through it. So we're going to start with spring. And I see a good start to this year. So, and by good, I mean, I just kind of feel like this is what I'm getting. The messages I'm getting here with this card is one of success. It might be something along the lines of, we did it. We got through 2020. And we got through alive, and we survived whatever it is that went wrong besides COVID, because COVID was, of course, universal, because the whole world was going through it together and is going through it currently. But we also had our own things going on. A lot of us had our own stuff going on along with COVID, right? It was kind of accompanying that, terrible and difficult situation with our own battles. So I feel like in spring, things will start to become a little bit more to normal, going back to normal, sorry. So what I'm sensing here is just in spring, those months will be full of just joy and kind of like an awakening. I definitely see a sense of, maybe during this whole year, and especially into this winter, maybe a little bit of, just hibernating and, isolation and all of that. And in spring, it looks like we just kind of like come out of it, and we just wake up out of this isolation we've been in for so long, and we get to start living our lives again in some way. The weather will be better. We'll be able to go out more, hopefully, less restrictions just in our life in general, less delays, less disappointments. We're going to really be feeling great, I think, in this spring that's coming. So that's excellent news. All right, and then after spring comes summer. So, oh, how perfect that he's on the beach. So here is our Seven of Cups. Right, a bit of an emotional card. I do think it's pretty perfect that he is on the beach. He's kind of sitting there with the waves there's not any big major waves or anything like that. And he looks a little, not confused necessarily, but I sense more of a sense of not really knowing what to choose, right? So he's got 7 options there, and he's trying to choose the best one for himself, but he's not really sure what that is. So I kind of feel like summer's going to be really more about having more options. It's pretty straightforward, I think. Our summer will probably be, maybe beaches will open up, more beaches will open up, more people will be allowed in. Maybe we'll even be able to go, I doubt this, but maybe, you never know. Stranger things have happened. Maybe, public pools or, people will be able to enjoy their summer a lot more this year than they did last year. So I see a lot of options and just kind of wanting to do everything maybe to make up for the rough and isolating year that we went through last year. I feel like the summer this year is going to be more about just having so many options in comparison to what we had last year, that we really will kind of be like, do I want to go to this, drive-in movie, or do I want to go to the park, or do I want to go to the beach, or do I kind of just want to hang out at home with a couple of friends, So I feel like there will be more options besides Zoom, so or staying home alone. So yeah, so that's not bad, right? Summertime, maybe. I don't know about travel. I don't really see this as a travel card, but I do see potentially like just kind of being out in nature a little bit more this summer and just having more options, being able to take, different transportation. I know a lot of us are avoiding some types of transportation just to keep it, keep safe, but maybe you'll get back on some kind of railway that'll take you to a beach you love to go and you weren't able to go last year, but now you will be. So options, options, options in this summer, and that sounds perfect considering the limiting and restricted year we had. So collectively, it looks like we'll be feeling really great and kind of waking up out of this, isolation stupor we were in last year, and then it's followed by options. So it's kind of like, all right, I'm feeling better. I'm ready to go out. I'm ready to make stuff happen, and then it's going to be summer with, where should I start? Should I start by going to the beach, or should I start by working out again? Options, options, options. So that's always good. It's good to have options. Okay. So then after summer comes fall, which is my favorite season. We're taking a look at the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is all about her intuition. It's all about kind of going inward and tapping into what she needs, what she wants. I see self-care here too. So I feel like after a very active and maybe busy summer, it's time to kind of go back inward again and really figure out, you'll be halfway through the year at that point, and maybe a lot of us anyways will want to just kind of think about where we want or how we want to finish the year, right? How do we want to end this year? Do we, doing what, living where, having what type of job, anything along those lines. I feel like there's going to be a lot of going inward for answers at that time, and really like tapping into our intuition so that we can make the best decisions for ourselves. So I feel like that's what fall is. It's interesting because for me, fall always feels like a new beginning, and I would imagine that that's because, if you're from the US, I would imagine. I don't know if it's all over the world, but in the US anyways, I know for sure that our school year starts in September. So we usually have the whole summer off and then go back to school in September. So for me, it's always felt like a new beginning. You get new clothing, you meet new friends, you get new books. It's just like a blank slate and you get to start all over again. So it's sort of like a mini New Year's, and then it's also like you're back in school and you're meeting all these friends and you're having all this fun. And then to top it all off, now there's all these great holidays, that include a lot of candy and chocolate and gifts and time with your family and all that stuff. So, yeah. So I feel like for me, it's kind of like a little bit of a new year. So I feel like that's what starts happening here. So it's not necessarily a hibernation, but it is definitely a slowing down after a pretty active, warm months. We kind of spend a little more time inward, and it's reflected in our attitude as well of going inward and just reassessing where we are and where we want to be by the end of the year. So that's not bad at all either. And then finally, we're going to take a look at winter, right? So we're right back to where we are right now. And what does winter look like? Okay, so we have the Two of Wands here, and for me, the Two of Wands is usually one of two things, either about making decisions, and then the other one about traveling, as you can tell by this picture and this beautiful card here. So now we're looking at someone who's she's kind of torn a little bit, right? So she's got one wand behind her at home, and then she's got another wand that she's holding on to as she's dreaming and just being wanderlusty and dreaming about traveling. So there's just kind of like this inability to make a decision. So I kind of feel like next winter, more decisions will need to be made. But then what I'm getting is a sense of it might be okay to start traveling again. I kind of feel like that part of us will be awakened again. For those of us that really miss it and haven't been able to travel, I kind of feel like next winter will be when we'll get the green light, and it'll kind of be like, all right, let's do this. We can finally get in a plane and, still be safe and still get wherever we're going to without too many delays or problems. So probably with the vaccine that is starting to become available now, maybe that will be the reason why by the end of the year we'll all kind of be in a better place to do the things we want to do. So again, just kind of making that decision about where you want to be. I kind of see like this winter card being kind of a continuation of the High Priestess, where you're going inward, and then now you have decisions to make, right? And some of those decisions can be travel related. So this card for me has always resulted in some kind of message or, just answer regarding travel. Throughout this last year, it's been almost impossible to travel, but I've actually turned to my deck quite a bit, and this card has come up quite a few times. So anyways, yeah, as far as our winter is concerned, I see the end of our year kind of ending on a really high note where we're almost able to kind of come back to what we know as normal, quote unquote. Our old life or our normal life, or, kind of getting back to normal, so to speak. So, so I see a beautiful cycle here, 4 seasons where things are growing, right? So they're growing from kind of like a sort of like a waking up moment in the spring, to then having like tons of stuff you could probably do compared to now, especially, or at least compared to last year. You'll suddenly have like all these options in the summer for things that you can do. And then, in the fall, we kind of go inward again and start really tapping into the goals we wanted to reach for this year. That's why I feel kind of like some skepticism here, some desire, like that's our outlook right now, just this inability to just kind of wish and dream and create goal lists and all that stuff right now, because we're kind of dubious. We're dubious at the moment because of the year we just had. So it's understandable that it would take us maybe until the fall for us to start feeling like, okay, so things are kind of getting back to normal a little bit. So now what do I want? And then by winter, you're really thinking, okay, so what's next? Like, what do I want to do now that life's kind of really getting back to normal? And I can do anything, including traveling. So, you kind of have those big questions to ask yourself, and that might be where this decision making kind of comes in also towards the end of the year, where you really start deciding, where do I want to work? Where do I want to live? You've probably learned so much about yourself and what you want throughout last year. You're going to learn even more this year. So it will get to that point where you'll just have this big question mark about what you want your life to look like. So there you have it. There is the year ahead spread. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some kind of clarity, some kind of information. Even if you got just one thing out of this reading, I would be really, really happy to hear about it. So feel free, or I invite you to actually, obviously I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel, but if you don't want to do that, it would be great if you could comment and just let me know, what did you think about this reading? Did it resonate? Did anything really stick out for you? And as I said, if you're interested in something longer or more in detail, Definitely check out my personal website and you'll see some options there for that. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick out some cards and then we'll do the pick a card section of this reading. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, welcome back everyone. Thank you for joining me for the pick a card section of this reading. So as I mentioned earlier, this is just going to be a one card reading and just closing thoughts from our higher selves. And you'll have three options here. So you'll just be getting a one card closing thought or closing bit of advice from our higher selves, which, that's the High Priestess we just saw in the main reading. Really kind of tapping in and getting these signs and messages that we ask for sometimes. So we're going to start with, this is going to be group 1, so this will be the red jasper over here. The clear quartz will be group 2, and then I'm not sure what this is, but it's a nice purple, dark purple stone. It could potentially be a rough piece of amethyst. So don't hold me to that though, because I'm not positive, but let's say purple, this purple stone over here. So take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, and then just open your eyes and choose one of these cards, and I'm just going to read them through from left to right. I will not be doing a timestamp only because the readings will only be 2 or 3 minutes long. So let's go ahead and start with our group 1 or our red jasper. What final closing messages are you receiving from your higher self? And we got the 4 of Pentacles. So with this card, I think that there's the message here anyways, is very much about reserving your energy, reserving your money, reserving your time. So with this year, it's not your typical new year where you kind of come out of it. We're all relieved 2020 is over, but we're also not, I think most people anyways, are not really believing that everything's just gonna instantly fall into place on January 1st, So because of that, I feel like this group 1 with the red jasper, you're being asked by your higher self to really just kind of keep control. So whatever you've been doing to maintain a good mental state, financial state, relationship states, all of that, whatever you've been doing, keep doing that. So don't kind of go hog wild just because now it's, January 1st and it's 2021 and 2020 is over and now I can go crazy and go traveling and shopping and, none of that, not just yet, So whatever you've been doing, keep doing that because you're on the right track and you're going to need to just conserve everything. So anything that depletes you, whether it's a relationship with someone or a certain kind of work that you don't want to do, or, a habit that you've picked up during the pandemic and you realize that it's not good for you, do your best to tackle that, because that's the message I'm getting here, that you're really going to need to reserve everything you've been working so hard for. So do not just kind of let it go, figuring we're new year, new life. That's not the way things are going to go, maybe for this New Year's as well as next year, for all we know, or ever again. We don't really know what our normal is going to look like again. So just continue to be your diligent, responsible, calm, peaceful self for your own sanity. So, all right, that's the closing thought for group 1. I hope that that provided some kind of direction if you were looking for that, or some advice if you were looking for that. So let's move on to group 2. Group 2 is going to be our clear quartz crystal group over here. Let's see what your message is. All right, so your closing message is going to be, I see a little bit of like maybe in 2020, it was a bit hard for you to deal with everything that was going on. Last year was a little bit difficult. And I think it's gotten maybe slightly better in this new year. So you kind of have a little bit of a, hope, a little ray of hope that's kind of still hoping 2021 will be amazing. But I feel like overall you've kind of like fallen into a pattern of really thinking negatively and having negative beliefs and actions and thoughts, and you're probably going through, maybe a little bit of like just the blues, along with maybe some anxiety, which is normal. It's very, very normal considering everything we've been through. But your higher self is asking you to manage this, So in 2021, I really think that you need to prepare yourself for this kind of emotional upheaval. So it's not that I don't think anything will happen per se. I think it's just a buildup of a tough year. A tough year can really take a lot out of you. And I think that this group, or some of you in this group, will probably need some way of managing your emotions, especially the negative ones, right? So whether that's working out, or whether that's meditating, or whether that's seeking help from a professional in some way, just kind of prepare yourself. So if the moment strikes where you're feeling down, when you're feeling like this, where you're kind of like drowning a little bit in your emotions, and you're just really, really feeling sensitive emotionally, you can kind of turn to whatever it is that you're thinking as your solution. So, but don't wait till it happens to figure out what to do. I feel like the message here is it's asking you to think beforehand. What makes you feel better, right? Is it music? Is it running? Is it watching funny movies? Like, what is it that you really need help? I'm sorry. What is it that really makes you feel better when you feel like you need some help with your emotions and managing them? And just kind of keep that in mind. So if and when something happens, you already know what to do, and you can just kind of get to it. So that's your higher self message. And I really hope you do take it to heart, because it's kind of hard to think of solutions once you're in a funk, right? But if you can kind of prepare yourself beforehand, I kind of feel like once the funk hits, you're like, oh, right, okay, this thing, yeah, okay, so I know I need to go for a run, right? For example. So there you go. All right, so group 2, clear quartz. That's your final message. Feel free to stick around and listen to the last one as well if you like. I tend to do that with some pick a card. Sometimes I need more than just one card. I'll pick 2 sometimes. So anyways, all right, so our last group is going to be this nice purple stone over here. So our third group. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but it's just like a really beautiful, deep purple color. So it just kind of looks gray in the video, but it's actually a bit just like a very deep eggplant purple color. So, all right, group 3 with the purple stone. What is your closing message? Oh, this is beautiful. All right, so you can tell just by the colors that this is a good card, right? So this is a really beautiful sun card. So this is the sun, which is all about success and happiness and abundance and joy. She's got her hands up, like just probably twirling before they took this picture, just twirling and feeling complete joy. And I kind of feel like this message that you're getting here from your higher self, group 3, is to enjoy your life. Just enjoy your life and don't worry too much about stuff. Things are going to work themselves out. So I don't know if there's anyone in this group or a few of you in this group who, maybe in addition to COVID also had their own stuff going on, and 2020 was maybe extra mean to them. And this card is just your higher self letting you know it's going to be okay. You're able to kind of get through the worst. And in 2021, we can only hope that this is true. But what I'm interpreting here is that your year will be great. So just kind of keep your chin up, keep looking up to the sky, and keep believing in miracles. I kind of feel like I'm not exactly sure where that's coming from, but I am feeling called to say those things. So there might be someone in this group that needs to hear that, and it's my pleasure to provide that information. So I feel like there will be some miracles, or there will be some some really good news for someone or someone's in this group. So just not relax, but just believe. There you go. I feel like that's a good way to end it. Just believe. Just believe everything will turn out fine. Doesn't mean that you don't have to do anything about it, but it does want to kind of give you that comfort, a message of comfort, and just letting you know that you're not alone and things will work out. So, all right. So there we go. There's our 3 pick a card readings for this year ahead reading. So again, thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure to do this reading for everyone, and I would love to hear back from all of you and just some feedback, or just letting me know what you picked or what you thought. I welcome all comments and I will respond to everyone. So, all right. Happy New Year, guys. Let's hope 2021 is a phenomenal year. And it looks like it will be. It looks like it will be a return to us, but like a 2.0 version, so, or maybe a 3.0 version. So I look forward to seeing you again next week. As you know, I post every single week. So I'll see you there. I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.